Coach, you may have been involved in the first ever coach trade of any All-Star game ever. Just want to get your thoughts on that in your mind. First for you, Leo.
Dan State?
Yeah.
That you got traded?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go look at all that.
Traded.
I have no idea what the teams are.
Second time in history now. Geez, as a player. My son hit me up after he goes, I've created history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. But look, I get to coach with Sabrina. I'm on Caitlin Clark's in Indianapolis. I mean, what a great show. So we'll go out there and have some fun.
You are not ready for this one. Sabrina Ionescu just saw Caitlin Clark pull off the most ridiculous all-star move. And her reaction? It was part confusion, part awe, and 100% meme-worthy. We're talking jaw on the floor, blink twice if you saw that right energy. Did Clark just rewrite the WNBA All-Star rulebook mid-game? And did Sabrina just realize she's living in the Caitlin cinematic universe? Buckle up, because this video is pure chaos, comedy, and court-eyed clownery you didn't know you needed. Let's go.
I'm going to start with you here, Caitlin. You said you might be aggressive on the trade market once this opened up. Is there any player that you're looking to get to? And remember, it has to be apples to apples trade here. Starter for starter, reserve for reserve. The good news is you can't go wrong with this type of talent. Anyone looking to make a deal here?
To be completely honest, I love my team. I think they're great. I don't have any intentions of really trading any of them. I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Bee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it.
Oh.
Sabrina Ionescu didn't just react. She visibly malfunctioned courtside, like her brain caught a software update it never agreed to. 1 minute she's locked in, the next minute she's squinting at Caitlin Clark like she just witnessed a unicorn hit a logo 3, toss an alley-oop to herself off the Jumbotron, and wink at the camera like it's just another Tuesday.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game is just days away, but we finally know who's going to be on Team Caitlin Clark and Team Nafisa Collier. Let's get into these names. Off the top, it's Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, teammates. Then you got Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, teammates. Hello, rookies. Then there's some top-tier choices in Asia Wilson and Gabby Williams, which is a sneaky good pick. One more special twist for this event. The coaches have been swapped. That's right, Cheryl Reeve is now coaching Team Collier, and Sandy Brondello is now coaching Team Clark.
The WNBA All-Star Game wasn't ready. Sabrina sure wasn't. And judging by the look on her face, she's probably still buffering. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she rewrote the genre. The girl pulled a move so wild it made the All-Star Game look like a low-budget sitcom, and she was the only one handed the script. The defenders? Glorified background extras. The crowd? Pure hysteria.
It fell through at the last minute. Are you guys going to make any deals or bets on the game between teammates, or what's that going to be like to be foes for a day?
It'll be weird. Maybe we'll just allow each other to trade off baskets and shoot. But no, I mean, the All-Star Game's always fun. It's not that competitive, and it's just kind of you get to go out there, enjoy, have fun, and just kind of celebrate the accomplishments. So I'm excited for all of us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks.
But Sabrina's reaction deserves an Emmy. Hands to her head, eyes wide, doing that internal math like how do you even defend that without defying the laws of physics? And in that moment, everyone knew. This wasn't just a rookie finding her rhythm. This was a hostile takeover with sneakers. Sabrina may be an all-star vet, but she looked like a bystander on Caitlin Clark's highlight reel, and honestly, she knew it. That smile, turned smirk, turned complete loss of words was peak comedy, like this is fine meme energy, but the room's actually on fire.
Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team.
Whoa.
Let me know. Fee, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star Game. This is something you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Caleb.
But let's be real. It wasn't just about the move. It was the symbolism. That sequence, that stare down, that unapologetic flair, it wasn't just for the fans, it was a message. And if there was any doubt left, it disappeared the moment the coaching trade drama dropped like a bomb in the middle of media day. Oh yeah, that. Let's talk about how Caitlin Clark basically hijacked the all-star coaching setup like she was playing NBA 2K in My GM mode. Lisa Bluter must be somewhere laughing in disbelief. While most rookies would be quietly grateful for whatever coach they're handed like it's jury duty, Caitlin, she just straight up vetoed the WNBA's original plan like, thanks but no thanks, I'll bring my own. And in walks Sandy Brondello like it's a family reunion, and Clark's already got the champagne chilled. The irony? It was Stephanie White's gig. Was. Past tense. Stephanie coaches like she still has a flip phone and thinks spacing refers to the type of font. Meanwhile, Clark's game is one giant ball of chaos, creativity, and nuclear precision. She needed someone who gets that. Someone who wins. Someone who doesn't flinch when a rookie calls their own plays. And in comes Sandy, who, by the way, has a championship ring, actual strategy, and zero ego about letting a generational talent cook.
All right, so after the teams were chosen, a surprise moment happened. Now, of course, I'm still feeling it because I was two off, man. Two off from picking the entire two teams, but it's all good, man. I'm not tripping. Now, at the end, a trade proposal was capable of happening, right? Now, when I was looking at the rules at the beginning, I was like, dang, they could trade? So that portion of the whole draft happened. And I'm like, dang, who are they going to trade? I wouldn't trade anybody. And of course, Caitlin came up saying, I'm fine. I wouldn't trade anybody. But we can trade these coaches.
Caitlin Clark didn't just flex with that move on the court. She flexed off it too. And the league had to pretend they were chill about it. Like, sure, of course the rookie gets to pick her coach. We planned that. Yeah, and I planned to marry Ryan Gosling at 17. This wasn't a negotiation. It was a power move. And the WNBA blinked, because let's not ignore the message she sent by essentially kicking Cheryl Reeve off the sideline. That's not just throwing a wrench in the machine, that's dismantling it on national television. Reeve built a coaching legacy, and Caitlin Clark just walked in and said, cute? But I'm running with Sandy. The wildest part? She was right. Match made in heaven, or at least in Barclays Center. The result? Comedy gold and basketball brilliance. Caitlin Clark turned the All-Star game into her personal mixtape. The crowd roared, the cameras couldn't look away, and poor Sabrina Ionescu looked like she needed tech support. There's levels to this, and Clark just leapfrogged the whole league while smiling.
At the end of the draft, Caitlin and Fee had the option to trade any players, but instead of players, Caitlin said that she wanted to trade coaches. Originally, Cheryl Reeve was supposed to be coaching Team Clark, and Sandy Brondello was going to be coaching Nafisa's team. But Caitlin said, nah, let's switch. Fee, you can have your coach. But there might be something deeper. Wonder if Caitlin has been keeping receipts of some of the things that Coach Cheryl Reeve had to say about her, including this little Twitter exchange that happened last year. They were tweeting about the preseason game and that the links weren't being televised. Somebody said, is there a reason why it's not being shown? Another user said, because they only care about Caitlin, and Cheryl Reeve responded, that part. Since fans have been calling her out about this last year and also this year.
And let's not forget how completely iconic it is that Caitlin dared the WNBA to stop her. She didn't just challenge the status quo, she bulldozed it, rebranded it, and sold merch on the way out. The league's official response was basically just throwing their hands up and going, guess the kid's in charge now. But honestly, can you blame them? Caitlin Clark might go down as the best WNBA trade of all time. Except she wasn't traded. She was drafted. That's how crazy this is. She's so impactful, it feels like someone flipped an entire franchise for her. Like she got airlifted into the league and just started rearranging the furniture. There's something hilariously on brand about a rookie entering the All-Star game and immediately becoming both the highlight reel and the storyline. Every assist into a headline, every smirk into a moment of cultural significance. And credit to Sandy Brondello, she's just rolling with it. Cool as ice, calm under pressure, and absolutely vibing with the most polarizing rookie the WNBA's ever seen. She doesn't try to change Clark, she amplifies her. And in return, Clark gives her the most watchable all-star performance in recent memory and a backstage pass to the Caitlin Clark show.
The WNBA All-Star rosters are officially set, and this live was crazier than you could have even imagined, because what do you mean halfway through they just decided to switch coaches? Not trade teams, trade coaches. So they went back and forth. Caitlin Clark got the first pick, Collier got the second pick. She picked Aaliyah Boston, then she picked Stewie, then she picked Sabrina, then she picked Alicia Gray.
Meanwhile, Stephanie White is probably staring at a chalkboard somewhere wondering what happened. The answer? A phenomenon walked in and didn't wait for permission. She didn't ask, she acted, and the league realized fast, either get on board or get out of the way. That's why Sabrina Ionescu's reaction matters. Because it wasn't just funny, it was real. Whether it's with a ridiculous step-back three or a casual rearrangement of the coaching hierarchy, Clark's just built differently. So if anyone's still wondering who runs this league now, Sabrina already answered that, with her eyes wide, her mouth open, and her all-star vote unofficially revoked. And just when you thought the circus couldn't get any weirder, enter Stephanie White with her carefully packed baggage and emotional carry-ons. The second she landed, it was like Avengers, Sun Edition, only less Marvel and more mild. She brought her favorite Connecticut cast, DB included, and suddenly Indiana Fever looked less like a fresh start and more like a weird relocation experiment.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains, picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media.
Because Stephanie didn't come to Indiana to build around Caitlin Clark. Let's be honest. She came to recreate her comfort zone, wrapping herself in a sun blanket like the Fever didn't just draft the most important player in league history. No biggie, just push the generational talent to the corner like a glorified scarecrow while her Sun reunion tour runs the show. Genius! And the whole time, she's pretending this is part of some strategic vision. Please. This is like being handed a brand new Ferrari and deciding to drive at 20 mph in a school zone while bragging about gas mileage. You can, technically, but it's an act of violence. You can see it on the court. Clark is being coached like she's a 3-and-D specialist from 2004. Just sit in the corner, kid. Maybe you'll get a kick-out pass. And for what? Because Stephanie White doesn't want to relinquish control of her team. She didn't move to Indiana to let Clark run the show. She moved to Indiana to rerun her own greatest hits, complete with pose touches and old Sun habits that were mid at best.
Oh, Dairy Queen, that's Caitlin's nickname for those of us in the know. She's like, look, I'm going to do you a solid. We all know my coach absolutely hates you. It's going to be a terrible, terrible experience for you. You have so much on your shoulders as it is, all the hate that you get, all the pressure to grow the league. And I don't want you to have to deal with all that for your All-Star weekend as well. So, of course, being her star player, I've got her wrapped around my finger. I can deal with all that. She's not going to give me any of that crap. So why don't we just straight up trade coaches?
And somehow, she's expecting Clark to adjust to her style instead of the other way around. This isn't coaching, it's sabotage with a clipboard. And if you think we're being harsh, just watch one of her press conferences. Stephanie White talks about Caitlin Clark like she's describing an unruly house guest. There's no spark, no enthusiasm, just controlled annoyance barely masked as coaching insight. She praises her like someone forced to write a thank you card to a person she loathes. It's painfully clear. The envy is practically leaking through the microphone. She's jealous, and the whole league knows it. Because Stephanie White didn't just inherit Caitlin Clark, she inherited a spotlight she didn't want to share. And now she's got to sit through every press conference while reporters ask about Caitlin first, last, and always. Meanwhile, her precious system, her outdated, glacial-paced system, is being exposed under the brightest lights it's ever seen. No wonder she's tense. This was supposed to be her redemption arc. Now she's just the B-plot in a much bigger movie.
I don't know if this is allowed, but this is what we're going to do. We decided, meaning the two of them decided amongst the two of them, that they were also going to trade coaches. So now, Sandy Brondello is the coach of Team Clark, and Cheryl Reeve is the coach of Team Collier. So then, Clark is like, let's make it interesting. I've got Sabrina. I think Sandy's going to want Stewie. What do you want for Stewie? We'll trade, because trades are allowed. Nafisa says, what do you got to offer? She's like, I can give you Satu. And she's like, no, I don't think so. If I'm giving up my first pick, I want your first pick. I want Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin Clark says,
and here's where it gets funnier. Clark knows it. You can see it in her eyes every time she's asked about adjusting to the system. She gives that tight-lipped grin, says the politically correct thing, but you know she's screaming internally. Because this isn't what she signed up for. This isn't the offensive freedom she had in college. This isn't pace and space. This is dribble, pass, wait, reset, and maybe, get the ball back with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Fun. And poor DV is caught in the middle, brought in like a trusted general from the old Sun regime, but now standing around watching Caitlin Clark drag double teams 30 feet from the basket while the play is designed for a fadeaway from the elbow. It's like putting Taylor Swift in a backup singer role because the band already has a sound. Meanwhile, every other coach in the league is watching this train wreck unfold like it's primetime entertainment. Some are laughing, some are furious. It's outdated, clunky, and nobody under 40 knows how to use it. But rather than adapting to the revolution, she's doubling down like a blackjack addict on a losing streak. And it's not just ineffective, it's embarrassing, especially when the highlight reels show Caitlin Clark launching logo threes, threading impossible passes, and making defenders look silly, all outside the game plan.
Despite dominating fan votes and receiving a record-setting number of fan votes, Caitlin Clark was only voted 9th in guards across the league by WNBA players for the WNBA All-Star Game. Now, she is going to be a captain in this year's All-Star Game, which is amazing as just a second-year player, but let that sink in for a second. She was voted first in fan votes, the most fan votes of all time for a player, and only voted as the 9th best guard in the league amongst players. That's insane.
You'd think a smart coach would pivot, adjust, evolve, but not White. She's still holding onto her clipboard like it's a security blanket and hoping nobody notices that Caitlin's potential is being siphoned off for the sake of structure. And when she does get called out, she throws in buzzwords like process and chemistry like she's doing an HR seminar on mediocrity. There's a reason fans are losing it. They didn't tune in to watch Caitlin Clark set screens and spot up like a forgotten role player. They tuned in to watch the game bend to her will. They want fireworks. And instead, they're getting fire drills every single game. And the craziest part, White genuinely thinks this is fine, that the offense is developing, that things are coming together. A coach clinging to the past and a player already 10 years ahead of her time. A system designed to slow things down and a player who operates at warp speed. It's a mismatch so glaring it could be seen from space. And still, White pretends everything's fine, but it's not. Not even close. And as the season drags on, the whispers are only getting louder. Maybe the problem isn't Caitlin adjusting. Maybe the real problem is that Stephanie White never planned to adjust at all.